Hello, everyone. Today I'm going to be doing some first impressions. I have with me here the Runout by Fanboy Sports. This is the standard shape. They actually only sent me the standard shape. This just recently released, so this is going to be a first impressions post-release, but I've gotten a couple hits on it now, and I wanted to share my early impressions before I do the review at a later date. So, first of all, it is a 12.7 millimeter paddle. And with that, I was definitely challenged, is how I'll put it. I've hit thinner millimeter paddles in the past. I have more of a 16 millimeter preference. For reference, I even like stuff like the Lux back in the day that was 20 millimeter. So going thinner is usually tougher for me personally. And I did at first struggle with this, but I actually will say so far that this has been one of my favorite quote unquote thin paddles to hit with in quite some time. The construction of this paddle is just so unique. It just feels really, really good. And I'll share numbers and all that in the review to be clear. This is just first impressions. Um, Probably one of the best handles I think I've ever felt and held on a paddle. More than enough room for the TUI, whether you do that or you do this. Um, Feels good. I really like the look. It's a clean, simplistic look. This edge guard is awesome. This is probably one of the best feeling edge guards I've felt in a long time. I did end up adding 2.5 inches of tungsten tape. This is the point 0.5 by Pickleball Effect in the bottom corners, going into the face a little bit. And that was just to kind of shore up some twisting in the hand when I was hitting with it. But for kind of a 12.7 millimeter paddle, I would say that this is probably the best one I've felt. I think the direct comparison to this, it being American made as well, would be the Paddletech 12.7s. I don't think this is as hot as those in terms of power and pop. I think I would place this more in the all court category personally, but I do think there's enough power here that if you're someone who has a good amount of natural power and you gravitate toward all court paddles, you could play with this fine personally. And I think you would benefit from it if you're someone that likes a thinner paddle per se. So, yeah, those are my early thoughts on the run out. Now I'm going to gravitate towards the Charm V by Pickleball Apes. And I did play this stock, although after one game playing it stock, I did immediately add weight up top in my usual spot for all my wide body and standard shapes that I like to try is just doing a big bar right in the middle of the top. This is about 5-ish inches of 1 gram tungsten tape. My charm just felt super tingy, and it wasn't it for simple terms of playing it stock without weight for me. I did after the session as well add about 4 grams of the 1 gram tungsten on the sides as well to really kind of shore it up and improve kind of that overall feeling. Um, I do really enjoy this paddle so far though. Um, and I'm really looking forward to getting more time on it. I'm going to be hitting it again tomorrow. And yeah, first impressions for it for me were very gritty, good power, good pop, 16 millimeter feeling, 16 millimeter core. This is the new diced foam core from Apes. These, I believe, just launched at the time of recording this yesterday. So I'll talk more about kind of that core and the innovation. I have an interview actually I did with the owner of Apes that's going to be coming out over the next couple of weeks, and that'll talk a bit about it as well. But I'm really enjoying it so far. Definitely needs weight, in my opinion, but does come out, stock at good numbers. The static weight and the swing weight were pretty good out of the box. I'm finding the weight is improving it a lot more personally. It's just shoring stuff up. Um, for me personally, if I feel they need them, I'll add into the bottom corners, but it's not usually an area I like to go a lot with the wide body and the standard shapes, just because they already usually have a high twist weight. So I'm not trying to jack that up per se a bunch. I usually try to go more on the heads with them. And then with my hybrids and elongateds, I like to go kind of bottom corners into the throat a bit. But yeah, looking forward to hitting it some more. Other than that, I have a good feeling about this one, but only time will tell. So, all right. This video is quick, I know, but pretty brief first impressions. I'm gonna have a couple other paddles I'm rotating here down the road once I get some more hits with them in the queue and I feel ready to do the first impression videos. All right, let me know in the comments if you guys like these videos, if you want more of them, or if you would just rather the full-on review. All right, adios.